it's Krystal D is here, and it is Friday. No, not Friday. What am I saying? It's Monday here in Hong Kong, Monday evening here in Hong Kong on October 12th. We are actually in the middle of a typhoon. So I just found out that we are in Typhoon 3 right now, and there could very well be a Typhoon 8 tomorrow. Um, which is crazy because we haven't had that many typhoons at all this season, and usually we do. So I guess it's the weather is making up for it now. But wherever you are tuning in from, I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I had a great weekend. I spent it with my husband and with some friends, and we did a little staycation at the Grand Hyatt in Hong Kong, and it was amazing. Super, just really chill, and I really enjoyed that. So I hope everyone had a good weekend, and you've had a good day so far to kickstart your week. So I'm coming to you live because my plan moving forward, I've had a lot of people reach out to me asking for more tips and trainings and tutorials and things like that. So what I want to start doing is coming out online regularly to have a conversation with you, whether you're watching live or you're going to watch the replay afterwards. I'd love to have a conversation with you about singing, about music, about vocal technique, and I would. So every week we will probably talk about a different topic. Maybe I'll come on with a tutorial video. If you follow me on YouTube, which is the Sing Together, Learn Together by CSMA YouTube channel, you'll know that I recently released a YouTube tutorial video on a specific song, Sat Lok Sa Zhou in Cantonese, Mandarin song by Lala Xu, and I did a full tutorial on that and how to sing it and how to practice it. So that's available, that was last week, that's available on my Sing Together, Learn Together YouTube channel, so you can check that out. Today, I wanted to talk about style. So this is one of the questions that I often get from students, and there's a lot of things that we can talk about when it comes to style or technique. And if you follow some of my videos before, you may have heard me talk about it. And today, what I want to do is give you a few tips and some guidelines on how you can discover and explore your own personal style. So every one of us has singers that we love listening to, right? So have you ever heard a song? Have you ever heard a song being played that perhaps you're not too familiar with, but that the minute you hear it, you instantly recognize the singer. You instantly recognize the singer. Usually it's because that singer, you're either very familiar with them or that singer really has developed their own signature style. It's the same way with speakers that you may follow online or different coaches. They have their own speaking style that they've really honed and developed, and that is very recognizably that person. So you may be somebody who loves to sing, and perhaps you're also looking to refine or even just figure out what your personal signature style is when it comes to singing songs. So today, if this is something that you relate to, you're going to love this training video, because today I'm going to be giving you 6 tips that's going to help you with this. And again, if you love singing and you really want to keep learning and developing your own style, or you want to understand your vocal instrument better, then you're going to love my free quiz, which is just go to quiz.onlinevocalacademy.com, and then you can get access to my free 3-minute quiz. And what that's going to give you is it's going to give you a whole practice strategy plus a customized vocal exercise routine that is just literally plug and sing. Play and sing. Just press play, download it, press play, sing along, and follow me. And I will guide you through the vocal exercise, and that's a really great way for you to get started on discovering your voice. Okay, so quiz.onlinevocalacademy.com. Be sure to check that out. All right, so let's dive into the training. So today we're going to be answering the question, how do you have your own singing style? And if you're watching now or you're watching the replay, please let me know if you have any questions, and let me know, say hello so that I know you're here. I can't see who's online, but if you type in a comment, then I can see you. And if you have a question, please feel free to stop me and let me know. Okay, so I want to start with a quote that I saw that was by the artist Pablo Picasso, and I just thought that he really illustrated this. He really illustrated this. That was a pun. No, he really put it so simply, but so creatively, and so to the point when he said, "Style is the difference between a circle and the way you draw it." So style is the difference between a circle and the way you draw it. I mean, that's really cool, right? Because a circle is a circle, right? If I say circle, you'll have an image in your head about what a circle looks like. But there are infinite number of ways that you can draw a circle. You can draw a small one, a big one. You can draw an unfinished circle. You can draw a perfectly round circle. You can draw an oblong that's circle-ish. I mean, there's so many different ways. You can do left to right. You can do right to left. I think you get the idea, right? So that's what it is. So I would say technique is knowing how to create a circle, right? And what a circle looks like. Well, the tools, what's involved in creating that circle. But style is discovering your own way of drawing it, right? Your own way of depicting it. So how does this really relate to singing? Well, I'm going to give you 6 key points, key takeaways that hopefully you'll find interesting and that you'll find helpful that you can apply when you're listening to your favorite singers, or when you're practicing a song, or you're just singing along in a song. And I hope that maybe you'll have these key points in mind, and then that will give you a little bit more insight into understanding how a singer, or how a singer is creating their own signature style, and how you might be able to explore that in your own voice. So point number 1 is you got to learn the tools so that you can break them. Okay, so learning vocal technique, as I've said multiple times before, if you watch any of my videos, is not about having a perfect voice. I don't tell my students to do certain vocal technique drills or to sing a certain way because I want them to sing perfectly. That really is not the point at all. It's you want to know the tools. You want to know the rules. You want to know how your voice works. But then you also want to, I don't want to say break the rules, but you definitely want to have options. You definitely want to be free to explore. And I'm talking very specifically about singing popular music, so non-classical music. I think the classical world is a little bit more precise on certain things, so this is all to do with non-classical singing. So like popular music, contemporary music, musical theater, things like that. So point number 1 is that you got to learn the tools so that you can break them. So that you can break them, so that you can explore them, rather. I'm going to change that. Learn the tools so that you can explore them fully, but you also want to do it in a way that's sustainable. So you don't want to just learn the tools, okay, I got them, and now I'm just going to explore. You want to explore, be free to explore, but you want to do it in a way that's sustainable. There's so many singers that have great style, but their technique just is not sustainable. The way in which that they are singing is just not sustainable in the long run. It can give them vocal nodules, damage, loss of voice, long-term issues, long-term bad habits. That's going to be problematic for them in the future. And this is the case even for speaking. We can say the same thing for speaking as well. A lot of speakers, if they don't understand vocal technique or they don't understand their voices, they can pick up habits that actually will make it harder for them to sustain. They can lose their voices very, very easily if you're speaking a lot, even if you're not a professional speaker, but you speak a lot for work. You're a teacher. You're a personal coach. You do Facebook Lives like this, right? It is important to learn vocal technique tools so that you can understand your voice and make choices that are sustainable. This is so, so important. And that is definitely wrapped up in style. You want to be able to have choices, but you also want to know kind of what choices would be the best for you. So really what that means is you kind of need to have a bit of foundational knowledge, and you need to have a basic understanding of your voice in order to really know what your voice is truly capable of. So I want to go back a little bit to that, the painting, Pablo Picasso's quote, right? He said, you want to learn, style is the difference between a circle and the way in which you draw it. But sure, we understand that, but you still need to know the tools. You still need to know what brushes to use, or how to make a circle, or the color palette. In painting, you need to know how to mix the colors and what color tones match with what, so that you can be more expressive. Singing is exactly the same thing. It's the same way. And the best way to learn this, the best way to understand these tools is through vocal exercises. It's true. Some people find it really boring. I actually don't anymore. I love vocal exercises. I think that they really help me to stay focused, and they really get me in tune with my vocal instrument. So I enjoy them, and most of my students enjoy them. But that is the best way to understand your voice, and I'll tell you why. It's because when you sing a song, you're singing the song in certain notes within certain ranges, within a certain area of your voice. But when you do vocal exercises, you're exercising your entire range strategically and systematically, from the bottom to the top, from the top to the bottom, sometimes from the middle to the bottom, sometimes from the middle to the top. And then you're discovering all the little areas in your voice that has trouble spots. And then you learn tools, you learn specific vocal exercises to smoothen out those trouble spots. You can't do that in singing songs. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's very, very hard. There's just too many things that are coming into play when you're singing songs, so really the best way is to do vocal exercises, which is why I really encourage you to check out my quiz.onlinevocalacademy.com. It's a freebie. You can just sign up, you do a quiz, answer, I think it's 5 questions, super quick, and then it gives you a vocal practice strategy, some guidelines on how you can, the best way to practice for the goals that you have for your own voice. And it has a customized vocal exercise routine that you can just get started with right away. So I highly encourage you to do that. And if you have done it, let me know. I'd love to hear feedback on how that was for you. Okay, so that was tip number 1, which is you got to learn the tools. If you want to have vocal style, you want to develop your style, you need to know the tools first. You need to understand your voice, some basic, you don't need to know everything. You do need to have some basic knowledge on how your voice works, how it feels, to really get in tune with that, to understand where your trouble spots are in your voice. And then you can, that's really is the first step to discovering your style and discovering what you're capable of. I guarantee that your voice is capable of far, far more than you realize right now, 100%. All right. So number 2, the next important point that we were talking about style. If you're just joining me here right now, I'm doing a live free training all about how to find your own signature style. Okay, so tip number 1 was you got to know the tools first, and then explore those tools. And tip number 2, you want to explore, and this is so important, I think is overlooked really. You want to explore as many different musical genres as you can. I know that most singers, most of students, when they come, they'll say, I want to just sing this songs. I want to just sing Cantonese songs. I want to just sing Mandarin songs. I have female students who just want to sing male songs. I have male students who just want to sing female songs. That's all they want to sing. I have some students that only sing musical theater, or they only sing songs in English, or they whatever. That's fine to have those preferences. But if you want to explore style and you want to know to try different things with your voice, I highly encourage you to not just listen to different musical genres, not just listen, but to sing it, really sing it. There's a huge difference physiologically between listening to a song or listening to songs in different genres, even in different languages. There's a difference between listening and a difference between singing it and learning to sing it and going into it, really trying to understand how to sing it. And this is, I like to think of, when you explore different genres, different musical genres, it's like you're exploring music, you're exploring a song, or exploring music, or exploring your voice really, from different perspectives. It gives you like these different angles of understanding about your voice. So it's really, really a fun and creative way to understand your voice on a deeper level. Because really, different genres, talking about R&B, country, musical theater, all of these different genres have different expectations, right? There's different expectations. And when you start to understand how jazz is different from blues, is different from R&B, is different from soul and pop and country and musical theater, you start to listen to different stylistic nuances, different stylistic tools that people use in their singing within these genres. And when you sing them, you get to explore them yourself, and you really will be surprised. You'll be surprised at what you can learn. So when I work with students, I always tell them, hey, we're definitely going to sing songs. Ultimate goal is for you to sing songs that you enjoy, but let's not let's not limit ourselves, right? Let's explore different genres of music because it's really fun. You might not love listening to country music, but there is, for example, just as an example, I love country, by the way. I don't sing it, but I love listening to it and I love practicing it. But because you will definitely learn something new with every genre that you explore. So that tip number 2 is definitely explore different genres. And you can even do really cool things like blending genres, right? Because 2 people come into mind is Lady Gaga and Amy Winehouse. Have you ever heard them sing jazz? And then you hear them singing, pop, you've blues, rock, right? They can just blend these genres. They're not singers, especially I think Lady Gaga. I think she just defies a specific genre. Sure, you can say she sings popular music, but she can definitely manipulate her voice and to try to accommodate and to paint different pictures with a different style of music that she sings. It's really quite fascinating to listen to her sing. Go from singing her dance techno pop songs to a jazz song with Tony Bennett. It's really, really quite amazing how she can do that. She does it so well. All right, so that's tip number 2. Okay, so if you're just joining us again, this is all about how to discover 6 tips on how to discover and hone and create your own signature singing style. Okay, so tip number 3, this is a good one. You want to practice self-recording. Practice self-recording. So if you think about, and this does not have to be complicated. You don't have to have a fancy setup or anything like that. You can just literally use your phone or your iPad. And what I mean by practicing self-recording is, the reason why is if you think about artists, like your favorite artists, I just mentioned Lady Gaga, Amy Winehouse, all of your favorite artists. Most of the time, the reason why they're able to create these, their signature style, their signature way of singing, is because they have spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in a recording studio, singing take after take after take, listening back, adjusting, singing again, and trying something new, and then getting feedback from other people as well. That's how they are able to create something that that's what I want to say. That's how I want to sing it. That line right there, exactly what I did there. That's what I want to do. So they test their message in a way. They test their style. They test their different ways of singing a song until they find something that fits. And that is part of training. Of course, that's part of their job. But that's how you hone your skills. It's by constantly doing. It's not about thinking it out and being like, I think I want to be like so-and-so. I think I want to have a style like that person. It's something that you discover. You discover by singing, by doing, taking action. And so self-recording is a hugely beneficial way for you to do that. And it's literally recording yourself singing a song line by line, reviewing it again, making some adjustments, and keeping those recordings. You can keep it privately in your phone. You don't have to show anybody. You should show people eventually, but you don't have to show it to anybody right away. But that process alone is going to teach you so much. And it's not just let me record it and look back at myself. It's let me record it for the purpose of discovering different ways in which I can express myself in a verse or in a chorus or in a pre-chorus and a bridge of a song. Hugely, hugely valuable. It really does train you to become a more skilled listener, because what it is when you record yourself and you play back and you're being quite you're trying to be objective about it, you're training yourself to listen to your voice as if you were a audience member. You're training yourself to hear yourself you're training yourself to hear yourself. You're training yourself to listen to your voice from the perspective of an audience member, is what I'm trying to say. And that training is going to help you to really sharpen your ears. Your ears are going to be so much more sensitive. And then you're going to start to notice different things. And you're going to play with different things in your vocal style that you'll be like, oh my goodness, I really love that little ad-lib that I did there. I didn't know that I could even do that. And then you can keep that as part of your toolbox for another song in the future. So hugely, hugely valuable. Practice self-recording. Okay, tip number 4. You want to get as much feedback as possible, but you also want to be intentional and specific. Okay, so feedback is important, but there's 2 things that I think is important to mention here. You want to pick the right people to give you feedback, right? You don't want to just ask anybody randomly. You do want to give people that you can trust, or people who have similar interests to you, who understand what it is that you're trying to do. And so you got to pick the right person. You got to try to get as much feedback as possible from these. It doesn't even have to be somebody you know. There are a lot of free Facebook groups. Actually, I have a free Facebook group. If you want to join the Sing Together, Learn Together, it's a free Facebook group, and you can post your videos on there and then get for feedback from people who understand that you're trying to learn, that you're trying to discover your vocal style. But I would say the one is you wanna pick your person, pick people who can provide you with feedback that you're looking for. And number two is that you want to be intentional and specific about what you're asking them. So what you don't want to do is to record yourself, or like to sing a song, say in karaoke with a friend, for example, or you're just singing at home with a friend, or you send us a video of yourself, or recording of you're singing to somebody, and you don't want to just ask them, what do you think? Right? Or like give them very, very vague questions. You want to be quite specific. The reason why is because if you are very, very vague, or you're just asking somebody an open-ended question, it's not really going to give you the valuable feedback that you probably want, or feedback in that makes sense to you. So in my programs in our online vocal academy, and also but especially our online vocal academy, where our members, they would post regularly, they post practice videos of themselves into the group, and they ask their mentor coaches and myself for feedback. I always encourage them to ask specific questions. So I mean, it's fine if they just say, hey, what do you think? Then for us as coaches, there's many things that we think, right? But I want to give you feedback that's going to move you forward. I want to give you feedback that's going to actually give you progress, to show you results that you can actually take action on. So it's much better if you tell somebody and you're specific, hey, I'm trying to work on my vocal style. I'm inspired by these people. I'm trying to explore this new genre because I really love how blah blah blah. What do you think about the way? What do you notice, or what do you think about the way that I'm singing these particular lines? So again, you don't even have to give them the full song. You can literally just sing a line or two and just be like, hey, what do you think of who does my voice remind you of? Be specific with your question. Just ask them something specific. Then you will get a much better response, rather than just what do you think, and not really having any direction as to what you're asking for. The other really good reason why you want to do that is because it forces you to be more intentional in your practices too. And that is so important. That's going to save you so much time, because it's like you're being focused and intentional, as opposed to just randomly singing notes and hoping that it'll sound good. that could probably work too. It's going to take you a lot longer though. So you want to do a shortcut way. Train yourself and learn to be more focused and intentional and specific when you are practicing, and then when you're asking for feedback as well. So tip number 4, if you want to, again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about how to define and how to discover and hone your personal singing style. Okay, so that's tip number 4. Get as much feedback as possible, but do it in a way that's intentional and specific. And also, you know what? When you receive feedback from others, go about it with an open mind. As singers, it is we can be our worst critic, or our worst critic, right? We are our own worst critic, and we are very sensitive because it's part of who we are. Singing is part of you. It's part of our identity, and singing in front of somebody is it can be a very vulnerable experience, because you care. This is something that's important to you. So when you ask people for feedback, you receive the feedback, you want to not hold any self-judgment on that. All of us singers, no matter I've been singing since I was 8 years old, and I understand that it's challenging to sometimes, get feedback, and that may be not glowing feedback, right? I've had many such feedback in my career, and it's hard for sure. But what you want to do is not take feedback super literally, because, and this is an important point, is because singing is subjective, and also singing it's hard for many people to describe singing in a way that's universal. Does that make sense? So somebody might say, oh, that person, you sound like you're yelling. But another person might say, oh, wow, you have such a powerful voice, but you could be singing the exact same way. So it's so subjective. So I think the important thing here is don't take things literally. Take the spirit of what the feedback is. You know, take the spirit of the feedback and don't dwell on, but what does she mean exactly? Does that mean I sound bad? Should I give up? I mean, we don't want to, don't do that to yourself, okay? Take the spirit of the feedback and then move on. Learn from it and move on. It's easier said than done. I totally know that, but it's worth it. Okay, so that's tip number 4. Get as much feedback as possible, but do it with intention and be specific. All right, moving on to tip number 5. Again, if you're just joining us, this is all about how to discover and explore and define your own signature singing style. Okay, tip number 5 here is that style is about telling a story. Style is not about pleasing everyone, because you aren't going to please everyone. You're not everyone loves Celine Dion. Not everyone loves any singer that you can think of. Not everybody loves them, and that's fine. That's okay. So don't go about it. So style is not so that more people can like you. It's about pleasing other people. It's not. Style is and it's certainly not about, I want to sing like somebody. When I sing, I want people to think of Mariah Carey or whoever it is that you might be thinking of. It's definitely not about that. And this is why sometimes when students will ask me, well, how do I sing like so-and-so? And I'll ask them, okay, well, what is it about that person that you admire? Let's look at that. Like, what is it about that person's style that you admire? Let's break that down a little bit. And then what I like to do is to help them discover that they have those qualities already in their voices. They just don't know how to explore it. That's when we use the tools. We use the tools and we use the practice strategies and the techniques to help singers to discover that they have so much that they're not using in their vocal instrument. It's already there, totally already there. Okay, so style is about telling a story. It's not about pleasing everyone. It's not about singing like somebody else. It's about telling a story, and it's about confidently sharing how you feel about something with other people, and you do it through music. That's it. Style is about confidently sharing how you feel about something with somebody else, and you're doing it through music. So it's like that quote, the Pablo Picasso quote. It's not about, style is the difference between a circle and the way in which you draw it. Nobody's asking you to draw a perfect circle. You don't have to. In fact, if everyone drew a circle exactly the same way, it wouldn't be very creative. It wouldn't be very fun to listen to. It's the same thing with a song. If everybody sang every single song in the perfect way, in the same style, there would be no variety. And every single one of you, every single voice has its own unique styles and inherent qualities that you're meant to have, and you're meant to express that to the world. So if you love singing and you wonder, I don't really think that I have it in me, you do. 100% you do. I'm here to tell you, 100%. I've been training voices for 12 years now, over 12 years, and I promise you, you do have it in you to become a good singer. But you don't feel like you have to be 100% perfect. That's not what style is about. It takes away the enjoyment of singing if all we're doing is just trying to be perfect all the time, right? So that's tip number 5, is to know that style is about telling a story. It's about confidently sharing how you feel about something with others, and you're doing it through music. It's not about pleasing everybody, and it's not about singing like so-and-so, like whoever your favorite singer might be. Okay, we're now down to tip number 6. Tip number 6, oh, hello, hey, thank you, Miss Krystal, for sharing. Hi, thank you, I see you here, for sharing your tips, especially to me. I like singing, and although I'm not so good in singing, I try my best. Yes, definitely, keep trying. It's worth it. The journey of singing, and this actually brings us really nicely to our final point. Singing really is a journey. And so point number 6, when it comes to discovering your personal signature style, is to know that style is a journey of discovery and not a final destination. It's true. It's not like singers will have, I've discovered style, now I'm done. No, that never happens. Like, you constantly refine, you constantly change. If you look at some of the recordings of Barbra Streisand, even Celine Dion, even Aretha Franklin, you look at some of the recordings that they made later in life versus the recordings that they made earlier, they're always rediscovering their style. They're always changing things about how they're singing the song. If you just compare back and forth, you'll see, oh my goodness, they totally they sound different, or they're using their instruments in a different way. And it's because your voice grows with you. It does. It grows with you. Not just physically, because as you age and mature, your voice can definitely change, but life experiences. Life experiences definitely define and influence your stylistic choices. So know that if you're trying to discover a style or a signature singing voice, know that it is a process. It's not like I've just discovered it and now I'll just keep it forever. No, it's a never-ending shifting skill, a never-ending shifting thing that's part of your singing journey. So enjoy that process, and don't feel like you have to have a defined style and to be recognizable, to have a very recognizable voice in order to be worth listening to. That is not true. So not true. Your voice is worth listening to, and it is worth discovering. And that process of discovery is going to teach you so much about yourself, about who you are, and it's going to highlight, discovering your voice is going to highlight certain areas of your personality that you may never have thought was there before. I see this happen over and over again. There's so many side benefits of singing on a personal development level that I will not go into here. That's probably going to be like another training, another conversation altogether. But yeah, it's definitely a journey that's worth taking. All right, so those were the 6 tips. I hope that you found that helpful. So again, today's free training is all about how do you have your own signature singing style. And we went through 6 different key takeaways, or 6 ways in which that you can start doing that, start trying to discover your own personal singing style. And the first one is learn the tools so that you can break them, but do it in a way that's sustainable and safe. Number 2, it was explore as many different musical genres as you possibly can. You're going to learn so much about your voice by singing different genres that you never even listened to before. I guarantee you will learn so much by just singing 1 or 2 songs from different genres. Number 3, practice self-recording, which I talked about. So important. You want to train your ear to listen to your own voice from the perspective of the listener. You learn so much about yourself, learn so much about style that way. Number 4, get as much feedback as possible. You want to pick who you're getting feedback from. Ideally, you're getting feedback from qualified vocal coaches or people that you trust, or people who are in the same journey as you. That's the best. Family members are not always the best people to ask for feedback. And also, you want to be intentional about the feedback. So you don't want to just ask, what do you think about my voice? But let them know what you're working on, and let them know, and give them a specific question to answer. It's going to be way easier for people to provide you feedback that is useful for you. And number 5 was knowing that style is about telling a story. It's not about pleasing everybody. It's not about singing like your favorite singer. It's about confidently sharing how you feel about something to someone or to people by using music. It's about confidently sharing how you feel. It's a storytelling. It's all about storytelling. And there are so many different ways to tell a story. There's no one perfect way to tell a story. And finally, number 6 is is to know that style is a journey of discovery and not a final destination. And it will change, and you will, as long as you keep at it, you keep singing, you keep getting the feedback, you keep doing these steps, you will discover parts of your voice that you never knew existed before. You will grow into confidence, and as you continue to grow in confidence, you will allow yourself to explore different things about your voice, about your style, about what you like and what you dislike about certain genres and certain stylistic techniques, and then you will make you'll take bigger risks when it comes to making different choices. That's how you explore. That's how you find your personal style. You discover, you learn, you discover, and you keep doing that process. You learn more and you discover more, and the more you learn, the more you discover, the more you discover, the more you learn, and it goes on, and it's an incredible journey that has so many personal development benefits. And it's also so worth learning. So I hope that was helpful for all of you. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you all so much again for participating, for being here, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay. Again, I'm going to be coming on again live next week on Monday, probably same time, I think. We're going to be talking about something else. I might throw in a tutorial or talk about another topic. But feel free to let me know, send me a message about questions that you might have. And also, again, if you want to get started on your own journey of vocal discovery, you can download my free vocal practice strategy plan, customized vocal exercise routine. Just go to quiz.onlinevocalacademy.com. That's quiz.onlinevocalacademy.com. You can get answer 5 questions, and then you can get a customized vocal practice strategy plan and guided vocal exercise routine. Let's literally play and follow, play and sing, and you'll hear me guiding you through the entire process. All right. Okay, hello, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you enjoyed this. All right, so I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.